So, good day everyone. This is our report presented by the Group 3, BSE 3C, EE 323, and we will discuss the wind turbine parts and operating principle. So, let's start. So, what is a wind turbine? So, a wind turbine is a device that converts wind energy from kinetic energy to electrical power. The rotor's velocity varies in reaction to wind speed to achieve a higher efficiency. Depending on technology employed, it can range from 13 to 20 revolutions per minute. The blades of a wind turbine rotates at a constant variable speed. So, ang wind turbine daw ay isang device na kino-convert ang isang wind or ang isang hangin through energy from kinetic energy na nakakapag-supply or nakakapag-produce ng isang electrical power. So, sabi dito, nakadepende ang bilis ng isang rotor or yung blade niya sa bilis ng impact ng hangin para maka-create ng higher efficiency at ang ikot nito ay umaabot sa 13 to 20 na ikot kada isang minuto at ang ikot ng blade nito ay nananatili na at hindi nagbabago. So, this is the example of a wind turbine. And this is the part of the wind turbine. Later on, we will discuss or sasabihin ko sa inyo yung mga parts ng isang wind turbine. So, the operating principle of the wind turbine. The wind turbine is one type of renewable energy that generates electricity using the power. So, ang isang wind turbine daw is isang type ng renewable energy na nag-generate ng electricity gamit lang yung hangin. So, sabi nga kanina sa may umpisa na nag-generate ng isang kinetic energy at nag-produce siya ng electrical energy. So, sabi pa dito, the basic concept of a wind turbine is to gather a potential and kinetic energy, kaya gaya ng sinabi niya kanina, using wind or yung wind, pinapaikat niya isang rotor which na naka-attach doon sa isang wind turbine. So, wind turbine, the operating principle. So, electricity is produced when the wind drives the blades. So, sabi dito, ang electricity daw ay nagpo-produce kapag yung wind ay pinapaikot niya yung isang blade ng isang wind turbine. Which in turns spin shaft that is attached to a generator. So, ang electricity is nagpo-produce kapag yung wind turbine ay nagdadrive sa blade at yung blade na yon is naka-attach dun sa may spin shaft at pinapaikot niya yung spin shaft at yung spin shaft naman is pupunta dun sa isang generator. Kaya, yun. Ang tawag sa maramihang turbine, nakikita natin na napakaraming turbine ay tinatawag siyang wind farm. So dito, a large number of wind turbine is usually called wind farm. So dito makikita natin yung picture ng detailed parts of a wind turbine. So makikita natin dito yung blades. Ito makikita natin yung blades dito sa may bandang blades, tapos rotor, pitch system, low speed shaft, yung gear, controller, yung anemometer, yung wind vane, nozzle, high speed shaft, generator, yaw motor, tower, brake, yaw drive, and twin directions. So, yung generator, a generator is another Sabi dito, ang generator. Generator is another crucial component of a wind turbine. Its function is to convert mechanical energy to electricity according to the principle of Faraday's law. So, sabi dito, ang generator daw is another crucial component ng isang wind turbine na ang function nito is nagko-convert ng isang mechanical energy to electricity na pwede nating magamit. At ang wind vane naman, yung makikita natin dun sa pinaka-likodan. So, a wind vane is a device that gives information about the wind. So, tumutulong ito para makakuha tayo ng information kung saan papunta kung saan tumatama yung hangin. It is usually mounted on the top of the wind turbine. So, it's usually nakikita natin na nasa taas siya ng isang wind turbine. So, blades of a wind turbine, nakita natin dito yung blades, yung malaking tatlong blades ng wind turbine. The blades are essentially for wind turbine. Kasi, that components because that interact directly with the wind. So, sila yung wind turbine na yun, yung blades ng wind turbine, sila yung palaging naka-front dun sa may impact ng hangin na sila yung palaging sumasalo ng hangin. They are aerodynamically designed to convert the wind's kinetic energy into a mechanical energy. So, sila yung mga aerodynamically designed na parts ng isang wind turbine, yung blades na yon, na yung kinetic energy ng isang wind is ginagawa niya itong mechanical energy na transmitted to the rotor shaft. At pitch control. So, makikita natin dito yung pitch control. So, is the system change the angular orientation of the blades? Its function is to optimize the aerodynamics of the blades according to the relative wind speed. So, yun. Saka, makikita natin dito na yung yaw motor. Yung yaw motor, siya yung nagpapagalaw dun sa may dun sa napapagalo dun sa may nozzle. Siya yung nagpapagalo sa nozzle para ma-detect para kung saan pupunta yung wind, sasapuhin ng blade. Kaya naiikot yung nozzle na yun. Saka sa may loob ng tower ng isang wind turbine, sa loob ng tower, doon nakalagay yung cable papunta doon sa may transformer. Sa may transformer na doon nag-iimbak ng electrical energy. So, sabi dito, the part that spins because of the power it gathers from the wind is called the blade. So, yon ang part daw na umiikot na nag-gather ng power galing sa hangin is yung blade. It is coupled to the low speed shaft via the hub. No? So, hub, tapos siya yung nagbibigay dun sa may low speed shaft na umiikot doon via the hub. So, sabi dito, the lowest speed of shaft is linked to the gearbox. So, makikita nyo dito, na ang low speed shaft is nakalink siya sa gearbox. At yung gearbox naman is nakalink sa may generator. So, electricity is produced when the generator spins. So, sabi dito, ang electricity daw nagpo-produce. Right. napoproduce ang electricity when the generator spins. So, pag umiikot daw yung generator, nakakapag-produce daw ng electricity. Due to the blade's revolution, most of the wind turbine consists of the 3 blades for the best efficiency. So, makikita natin na karamihan ng mga turbine na nakikita natin is nagko-consist lang siya ng 3 blades para sa mas magandang efficiency. So, blade design. So, to create a quantity of electricity, wind turbine blades typically need to be huge, tall. Its design maximize wind power output while minimizing expenses. So, sinasabi dito na blade design daw ng isang wind turbine ay create ng quantity ng electricity. At kinakailangan daw ng isang blade ng isang wind turbine is typically need to be huge, or kailangan daw is malaki. Typically na malaki ang kailangan at mahaba. So, sabi dito is design maximize the wind power output. So, kailangan dito i-maximize yung wind power output while minimizing expenses. So, the longer the blade, the better. Sabi nga. Kung mas mahaba ang blade, is mas better. The longer it gets, the more capability in capturing kinetic energy coming from the wind. So, new wind turbines that are quieter, more compact, and able to produce more power with less wind have been made possible by design advancement. So, sabi dito, new wind turbines that are quieter, more compact, and able to produce more power. So, its lengths vary. So, ito yung length or haba ng isang blade ng isang wind turbine. So, sabi dito, its length vary at around 50 meters. Average niya is 50 meters with 107 meters currently the longest. So, 50 meters average with 170 meter currently the longest. So, makikita natin na 107 meters currently the longest from, makikita natin to sa Siemens Gamesa. From Siemens Gamesa. So, yun lang.
So, ayun, dito naman tayo sa airfoils or wind turbine parts blade design. Airfoil is a cross-sectional shape of the blade that determine its aerodynamics. They are crucial to blade design. So, this figure is the one that airfoils. Ito yung pinagbabasehan natin. Kasi kung mahirap siya i-determine kung titingnan mo lang siya, hindi mo siya ma-analyze mabuti kung normal na mamamayan ka lang. So, with the help of this airfoil design, a wind turbine may move its blade faster than the wind, using more power and higher efficiency. So, yung airfoils, yung tulong niya sa wind turbine is para maging mas malakas at tumaas yung pagpo-produce ng electricity. So, malaking tulong to sa mga wind turbine kasi sabi nga kasi unpredictable yung wind. So, through this airfoil, mas ayos niya mabuti yung ano. So, next is the airfoil design. Dito makikita natin yung mga types ng airfoils. Merong mga most curve, tapos meron ding lightly curve lang naman. So, pinapakita dito kung merong iba't ibang design yung airfoil. Thick airfoil family for large blades, then thin airfoil family for medium blades. So next is lift and drag are the two aerodynamic forces produced by wind turbine blades. Wind and their air force are playing for this. So meron two types yung aerodynamics, lift and drag force. So yung lift, yung perpendicular to the airflow, tapos yung drag naman yung is in the line. So makikita nyo dito sa figure na to, yung lift paangat siya, paangat papunta, tapos yung drag naman is parang yun, in the line lang siya sa ano, sa agos ng ihip ng hangin. So wind turbine parts, lift and drag formula. So sa pagkuha ng lift and drag formula, this is the equation, lift equation, tas yung drag equation. So ito yung ano, para makuha natin yung bilis tsaka yung pag-angat ng ano, hangin. An additional benefit that cut airfoil can provide is a differential in pressure across the two sides. So meron siyang ano, both side is merong benefits, yung front tsaka back. Hindi siya parehas dapat ano, hindi siya parehas dapat na curve. Dapat ano, merong less curve tsaka merong mas curve na side. The reason for blade rotation is actually that higher pressure air pushes on the less curved side, on the other side with slightly concave part, where the most curved side or the convex side generates the low air pressure. So ayun nga, parang pinaliwanag ko na kailangan balance yung ano, merong yung both side, yung bawat side pala, bawat side is merong ayun na, yung rotation ng blade, high pressure air pushes the less curved side. So kung makikita natin dito sa figure na mas mabilis yung, mas malakas yung pressure pagka less curved lang, while naman sa most curved side is nag-generate na low air pressure. So blade wind orientation. The question today is based on the figure that show the best angle of attack. What are the leading or trailing edges of the blade made of, or both in front and back? So next is, di ba kasi pinakita ko na kanina na ito yung mga airfoil design. So dito sa tanong na to, what are the leading and trailing edge of the blade made of, both in front and back? So ano yung ano, syempre yung front, yung mas naglilid sa ano, yung turbine. So blade rotation, what is the question? What speed will the blade rotate at? Does it push in the direction of the side with a greater curvature or the side with the less curve? So next is blade wind orientation. The image shows the front and the rear of the wing and the leading edge of the trailing edge of the wind turbine's blade.
So yan, base yun naman sa ating PPT. And then the thing that needed to be considered when it comes to designing a blade is twisting and tapering of its lateral portion. Alam nyo ba guys na hindi lang basta naka-curve ang mga blades, naka-twisting and tapering nga yung mga yan. Kasi kapag ganyan ang mga blade design, syempre bibilis ang rotation. At yung lip nga na tinatawag while reducing drag. So ano nga ba yung lip? Ang lip guys, siya yung reason kung bakit nagko-cause ng rotation. And yung drag, this is one that acts a position to the rotation. It should be reduced. And take note of this, if you are designing a blade, you should more on lip force and mabawasan yung drag force. Okay. So yun guys, here is the question based on the previous slides. what number of blade is the best design in consideration all the factors in construction and operation of wind turbine. Ito, medyo naging familiar na tayo sa tanong kung ilan ba dapat na blade ang ginagamit sa wind turbine. Yun nga, kasi sa mga nakikita natin is 3, di ba? And yun naman talaga halos na ginagamit sa lahat ng wind farm. And syempre, ipapaliwanag pa din natin kung bakit 3 blades ang pinaka the best na options natin. As I said while ago, in designing a blades, the one that should be minimized is the drag force. Ayun dapat yung binabawasan natin. And then the one should be maximized o dinadagdagan pa dapat is the lift force. And here are the rule of thumb. The fewer blade, the better, since there will be less drag. And an increase in efficiency kapag kasi mas marami ang blades, it serve as an obstruction. And then as long as if there is many obstruction, mas lumalaki ang drag force. So the fewer blades, the better. Okay, since there will be less drag, and then sa isang rule naman tayo, the number of blade increase the torque and reduce the optimum rotation speed. Syempre, para mas maliwanagan pa tayo, pare-parehas, ano nga ba yung torque na tinatawag o na sinasabi dyan? Siguro, the best example na lang dito is yung sprocket sa mga motor. Di ba, kapag tinaasan mo yung sprocket sa mga motor, malakas siya hatak. Ganun yung mga karaniwang nakikita natin sa mga kolong-kolong na pinaglalagyan ng mga mabibigat na gamit. Kumbaga, kahit may karga na yon, kayang-kaya niya pa din humatak. Ang kaso nga lang, babagal yung top speed mo. Na kahit walang nakasakay or mag-isa mo lang doon na nagdadrive, ganun pa rin top speed niya pero malakas siya hahatak. Yun yung sinasabing increasing the torques. So, sa next rule naman tayo. Having a fewer blades, reduce drag. Yun nga. Ayun yung parang sa unang rule lang din. Doon siya nanggaling. Dito naman tayo sa one blade. One blade, because of the decreased drag, one blade would be the optimum number when it comes to energy yield. However, one blade could cause the turbine to become unbalanced, and this is not a practical choice for the stability of the turbine. Yun nga, hindi talaga siya pwede, guys. At hindi siya kasi balance. Ito, magkukos pa to ng harm para sa turbine natin. Kung imikot man yan, wala na siya sa control. Kumbaga, out of control na nga. And then, at hindi talaga siya magiging balance. Kumbaga, kung umikot man yan, kumbaga, magwawala na. Kasi nga, out of control siya, unbalance. Yun yung pangit sa one blade. So, dito naman tayo sa two blade, guys. So, yung two blade naman is balance na siya. So, pwede na excuse me. So, pwede na, 'di ba? Pero meron pa din kasi siyang issue. Alam niyo kung bakit? Basahin muna natin yung PPT. At first glance, two-bladed turbine seems like the optimal configuration for a wind turbine. Perfectly balanced. Yun yung sinabi ko kanina. And with one three-blade less than as a three-bladed turbine, they will generate less drag. So, why are not all turbines made with two blades? So, ito nga yung pinaka-issue. It has troubles in yawing. Alam nyo kasi yung nozzle, kasi hindi siya nakafix. Kaya dapat nakaharap siya sa hangin. Di kung nagbago yung direction ng hangin, dapat susundan niya yung ikot ng nozzle. So, sa pag-ikot na yon ng nozzle, para sundan yung direction na yon, ang tawag doon is yawing. So, nabanggit nga dito ni Sir Marvin na yung two-bladed turbine nyo, it becomes wobbly. Ito magkakaroon ulit ng unbalanced force which put stresses in individual parts. And for that reason, this two-bladed design is unlikely thing to be selective when it comes to design of number of blade. So yan, yun nga, dito naman tayo sa more than 3 blade. Any number of blades greater than 3 blade would create greater wind resistance, slowing the generation of electricity and thus becoming less efficient than a 3-blade turbine. Parang ganito lang yun eh. The more kasi na blade, pinapataas mo lang lalo yung drag force. So, that's why, the best talaga ang 3-bladed. Okay tayo doon. So, ayun, basahin na lang natin yung ibig sabihin dyan. Any number of blades greater than 3 would create greater wind resistance, slowing the generation of electricity and thus becoming less efficient than a 3-blade turbine.
Blade tilting mechanism. Depending on the wind speed, the related wind speed also changes. The blade tilt mechanism is the part connected to the wind turbine sensor that tilts the blade and ensures the correct orientation of the blade according to the related speed. So its position is always at the optical angle of attack. Nacelles. The housing behind the blade that houses the generator, gearbox, slow speed shaft, and other tiny components. Gearbox. The element that accelerates the blade's longest spinning. This is necessary only because a generator's ability to produce great quality voltage output is typically limited by the blade's rotation caused by wind force. The majority of generator must be spun between 1,500 and 1,800 RPM for 50 and 60 HS respectively. It is not possible for a turbine blade to travel that quickly. A typical ratio is roughly 90 to 1, where the generator output at 1,500 RPM and the generator's rotor rudder's input at 16.7 RPM. Direct drive or gearless. A direct drive turbine does not have a gearbox. The generator is directly spun by the main shaft, which make it spin at the same speed as the turbine blades. In contrast to gear types, the PMDD generators slow rotation and fewer moving components lessen fatigue and pressures on the turbine, resulting in the less noise and vibration, a longer lifespan, and cheaper maintenance costs. One of PMDD key drawbacks is that more magnets are needed to produce the necessary frequency and the power in order to compensate for its slower spin. This causes the generator diameters to rise, making it bigger and frequently heavier than geared wind turbine. Another issue is that the additional magnet of this type of composed of neodymium, which is a costly materials. Up until recently, the gearbox turbines were primarily unopposed by the direct drive turbines due to their weight and cost. However, other experts argue that since the gearbox wind turbine is virtually at its maximum efficiency and PMDD generators have more room for improvement, direct drive technology will eventually take the lead. Brake. A wind turbine brake system is safely featured that is connected to sensor to immediately stop the blades from rotating with it senses and activity that could endanger the system while it is in use, such as extremely high wind speed, malfunctioning parts, and maintaining the yaw system. A sensor-equipped mechanism consisting mostly of yaw drives and motors, among other parts. Its job is automatically rotate the tower's nacelles so that the blade is always facing straight into the wind. Using the electronic data provided by the wind vane at the back, it determines its correct direction. It guarantees that the wind turbine is generating the most electricity possible. The tallest standing tower is at 280 meters. It is still expected to be finished by the middle of 2022 and installed at the test facility in Western Jutland, Denmark.
Tower. The wind speed increases with altitude. This suggests that the height of a tower affects how much electricity it can produce. Most wind turbines are supported by conical tubular steel towers, which vary in height from 75 to 110 meters, depending on the diameter of the blades. So, para mas malakas yung may produce na electricity ng wind turbine, kailangan na mataas yung height nito. At yung average height na kailangan nito is 75 to 110 meters. And this is the tower and blade ratio. So in the year 2000, the average hub height in meters is 58 and the average rotor diameter is 48. In 2005, the average height is 75 meters and the average rotor diameter is 65 meters. In 2010, the average hub height is 80 meters and the average rotor diameter is 64 meters. In 2015, the average hub height is 82 meters and the average rotor diameter is 102. In 2018, the average hub height is 88 meters and the average rotor diameter is 116 meters. So mapapansin natin dito na sa pagtagal ng panahon ay mas lumalaki yung yung ratio ay yung meter ng hub at rotor diameter. At ito naman ang disadvantages ay ang advantages ng wind farm. Wind farm don't requires fuel since wind is a free resources. Second, produce no waste or greenhouse gases. The third, the land below can usually still be farmed. And the fourth is a practical means of supplying energy to remote areas. And ito naman yung disadvantages ng wind turbine. The wind is unpredictable. Its speed changes with the season and the time of the day. The second is land along the coast is typically a good place for wind farms because it is a more expensive. And the third is it may affect the availability of television in nearby places. The largest wind farms in the world. The first one is Gansu Wind Farm in China. It can produce 7,965 megawatts and the target is 20,000 megawatts. Next is Alta Wind Energy Center from California, USA. It can produce 1,548 megawatts and the target is 3,000 megawatts. Next is Mufandal Wind Farm in India. It can produce 1,500 megawatts. Next is Hornsea Project 1 in UK. It can produce 1,218 megawatts. Next is Marks Biden Wind Farm in Sweden. It can produce 1,120 megawatts and the target is 4,000 megawatts. Next is Jaisalmer Wind Park in India. It can produce 1,064 megawatts. So the Gansu Wind Farm, it is located at the western Gansu area in China. It is a group of massive wind farms dubbed the Gansu Wind Farm Project or Jiuquan Wind Power Base are under construction. In 2008, construction on a 750 kV AC power line to convey wind farm electricity began. The actual construction of the wind farm began in August of the year 2009. And in November 2010, officials proclaimed the project's first phase, which included the installation of over 3,500 wind turbines with an installed capacity of about 5,160 megawatts to be finished. It costs $17.5 billion or 120 billion Chinese yuan is the estimated cost. The project has about 20 developers working on it. So, the Burgos Wind Farm. The largest wind farm in Southeast Asia is the 150 megawatts Burgos Wind Farm, which is located in Burgos, Ilocos Norte, Philippines. The construction of the wind farm was completed in 2015 at an estimated cost of $450 million, situated on an area of 600 hectares. The plant uses 50 wind turbines, each with a 3 megawatts capacity to generate electricity for Luzon grid. Each wind turbine has rotor diameter and half height of 75 meters, and they are each supported by a tabular steel tower.